Imagine this. You're at the beach, you dive into the water, and instead of rushing back up gasping for air, you just keep swimming. No scuba tanks, no snorkels, no holding your breath. You're basically Aquaman, but without the trident and the superhero hair. So what if humans could breathe underwater like fish forever? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about how fish actually do this magic trick. They don't have little scuba tanks hidden in their fins. Instead, they use gills. Gills are like biological filters that pull oxygen straight out of water. Sounds easy, right? But here's the catch. Water actually contains way less oxygen than air, about 30 times less. That means fish have to work a lot harder than we do just to breathe. Now imagine if humans suddenly had gills built into our necks. Boom. We'd be able to live underwater without ever worrying about drowning. At first glance, this sounds like paradise. You could nap on the ocean floor, chase dolphins, or explore shipwrecks without needing gear. Pretty awesome, but hold on. Reality is about to ruin the fun. The first big question is, would we move on to land or water? Because here's the problem. If we really had fish-style gills, we wouldn't be able to breathe air anymore. Fish can't. Their gills collapse outside water. So unless we kept our lungs and got gills as a bonus package, we'd basically have to choose ocean life or land life. If it's the gills only deal, congratulations, you've just turned into a merperson. Land is now toxic to you. Goodbye cheeseburgers and Netflix. Hello seaweed diet and coral reefs. You'd be part of a permanent underwater society. Schools, jobs, TikTok dances, all happening under the waves. But if we kept both lungs and gills, that's when things get interesting. We'd become the ultimate amphibians. You could run a marathon on land, then cool off by diving 200 feet down without worrying about oxygen tanks. Humans could finally colonize the oceans, which make up 70% of Earth. Forget crowded cities. Imagine entire neighborhoods floating under the sea, with fish swimming through your front yard like pigeons. Of course, new superpowers bring new problems. For one, light doesn't reach very far underwater. By about 600 feet deep, it's pitch black. So unless your eyes evolve into night vision goggles, most of your new world would be gloomy and creepy. And speaking of creepy, have you seen what lives in the deep ocean? Imagine commuting to work and bumping into a giant squid or an anglerfish with that terrifying glowing lure. Nope. Hard pass. Another problem, temperature. The deeper you go, the colder it gets. Without high-tech wetsuits, underwater humans would probably freeze. So yeah, your new dream of underwater paradise might end with you shivering next to some confused jellyfish. And then there's food. On land, farming is easy. Soil, sun, crops. Underwater, not so much. Sure, you could eat fish and seaweed, but billions of humans doing that would wipe out the oceans in record time. Unless we invent underwater aqua farms, you'd be living off kelp salads 3 times a day. But here's the craziest twist. If humans could breathe underwater, it might completely change history. Think about it. No need for boats. Ancient explorers could have just swum across oceans. The Titanic wouldn't matter. Everyone would have simply kept swimming. Wars could be fought underwater. Whole civilizations might have developed beneath the surface, hidden from land dwellers. And here's the wildest part. If we all moved underwater, cities on land might be abandoned. Skyscrapers would become giant birdhouses, while the oceans turned into glowing metropolises filled with bubble domes, glass tunnels, and neon coral lights. But there's one big final surprise. The ocean is not an empty playground. It's already full of predators, ecosystems, and fragile balances. Humans moving in might wreck it completely. We've already polluted the seas just from land. Imagine if billions of us were living down there too. The ocean might not be able to handle us. So yes, breathing underwater forever sounds awesome. But in reality, it might be the start of Earth's weirdest eviction notice. So what do you think? Would you choose to become a full-time sea human or stick to dry land with Wi-Fi and pizza? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious about your answer. And if you enjoyed this little dive into science and imagination, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more what-if adventures, and share this video with a friend who secretly wants to be a mermaid. Until next time, keep breathing wherever you are.